You've probably heard the saying that you can pick your friends, you can pick your nose, but if you need to pick something else, then you might want to get a pick set. And thanks to the Home Depot Seeds program, we're looking at the 8-piece Milwaukee pick set. Let's take a closer look. The set features what I would call a large and medium size pick set. In the large, the handles are 5 inches long. The picks vary in length, but they average about 5 inches. The smaller set is 3.5 inches on the handle, and the pick will vary from about 3 to 4 inches. We'll start off with the hook hose pick. And a feature that is common to all of these is that the shaft actually goes into the handle, and there's a flat blade in there, which eliminates the pick from actually twisting in the handle. So it's basically one solid piece when you go to work with it. This large one has no knurling on it, but you'll notice, for example, on this smaller pick, that there's this knurling here. And what that enables you to do, should you find that you don't have enough control with the handle, you can actually go in here and use the knurling to give you a grip to let you get into things. So what would you use this for? Well, for example, I think that there's a screw underneath this cover. So this tool lets me get underneath, and I can pry that off, and now I see I have holes where I can remove fasteners to get this cover off. So that's one use for the pick. It's basically a better version than trying to mess up your screwdriver as a pry bar. The set also includes a straight pick or a shank, for those of you who have had more broad experience in life. Then there's this interesting tool here, which doesn't have a pointed tip. It's just a flat hose pick. And what this is really good for is, let's say you have a radiator hose that you've taken the clamp off, but it's basically welded in place because it's been there for so long. This lets you open it up without damaging the hose because there's no sharp edge to this. It's all rounded out. And so it's just a great way of getting into something that's tight without damaging the material. Of course, no set would be complete without a hook. This has a very sharp point to it, but this is great for going in like past a grommet and grabbing a piece of wire and pulling it through. Or if you have to dig out something, maybe a nut or a seal that's dropped, you can go pick that up and pull it out. And because of its hook shape, you can actually lift up and it'll hang there without slipping off. Another great little tool. This is only in the small version. We have a 90-degree, again, with a pointed tip, and you have a thick shaft, thins out a little bit here, but it's still pretty thick, so less likely to bend and distort when you're trying to use it. And that's the hard part with these tools, is you go to use them, and if you apply too much force, you could end up bending the tip or damaging it, and you don't want to do that. So you have to work within the limitations of each one of these. Here is a 45-degree hose pick. And again, there's no sharp tip on here. It's rounded, blunt, so you can get underneath the hose and try to open that up. And this lets you come in at an angle, whereas this one was coming in more straight on. Again, what this set offers is flexibility in the tools that Milwaukee decided to include. Here's another 90-degree, but with a blunt tip. Again, this would be ideal for hose. So you may have noticed that there is a pattern in which the larger tools are primarily for hose work, and the smaller ones are your pick tools. So these will have the sharp pointed edges, a 90, a hook, a straight, an offset, and then you have your hose pick, your 45, your flat nose, and an offset. Well, this is the offset 90, and then an offset 45 there. Milwaukee was nice enough to include a tray. It's not a high quality tray, it's just blown plastic, but it definitely would keep everything together in a toolbox. None of the tools have names on them. So if you send your apprentice or helper to get you something, it helps to describe it to them, because they won't know by lifting the tool and looking for a name other than Milwaukee. Some other sets do include names. This is not one of them, but what you're getting is the Milwaukee brand with the metal shaft extending into the handle, and because it's flattened, part of it is like a blade in here. The handle, when it turns, the shaft will turn, and that connection won't sever unless you totally destroy the handle. I would probably just throw these all into my toolbox as opposed to putting them in this blister pack, because this tray takes up a little bit too much space, and my toolbox is fairly full at this point. But for those of you who have the space, it's a great way to keep things organized. And, you know, it's always nice to have your tools organized so that they don't get lost, and you can instantly tell if someone's borrowed one or not. So will the Milwaukee replace my little dental pick set? Probably not, because each serves a different purpose. And with this, as you can see, I can still get into underneath this. And once again, this reveals that I have places where I can open up the bottom of this unit. So picks are just a nice thing to have. And whether you have a large handled one like these, which can be used for hoses, a medium-sized one, which is very versatile for picking out things, even cleaning things. You know, if you had a gasket in here, you could go and lift it out, or if you needed to just clean out something that had some grit in it, these tools are fine enough to let you get in there and do that. The smaller sets, of course, will even allow you to go in and really do some fine work. The problem with these are that because of the small amount of metal, they can tend to either bend or break. So depending on what you're working on, you may need something that's a bit more substantial, and that's where this Milwaukee set comes in. It has the versatility of doing some heavy work with hoses and stuff, and then some small pick. So it's kind of a well-rounded set in that respect. And it's Milwaukee, which means it's warranted for life. A simple phone call or email, and you can get your tool replaced. This Milwaukee hose and pick set will not replace my little dental pick set, but it's a great complement to the set, and with each project, I find more and more uses for it. If you found this video interesting or useful, give us a thumbs up, leave us a comment, join the subscription team, and as always, thank you ever so much for watching.